What can you not believe we still have to deal with in 2023? Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy. Thanks. Story 1. Printers that suck. Seriously, it isn't new tech, and they've been notoriously terrible for years. No one has cared enough to make them not suck, especially giant office printers. Story 2. Those surveillance photos that police post. Have you seen this person? He robbed a CVS. And the video is so grainy and poor it's embarrassing. Story 3. Book banning. Story 4. Pseudoscience. That shit is, at best, a waste of money and, or energy, at worst lethal. Story 5. Slavery. Story 6. Needing to be online for single-player games. Story 7. Flat earthers. Like, I always swear they're about to come out and be like lol. Okay, it's been fun but the joke is up, we were just kidding, and every day, I am disappointed when it doesn't happen. Story 8. Religious nutters who think they are entitled to force others to obey their religion's rules. Story 9. Social media and its superficiality, harm to minors, and utter nonsense that topples society like dominoes. Story 10. For-profit medicine. Story 11. Ignorance. Willful ignorance. Story 12. Places in Canada where you still can't drink tap water. Story 13. The cruelty of human beings in general. We live in a too cruel world. We hurt ourselves every day with no really important reason. Story 14. Calories. I just want to eat crumble cookies in peace and not worry about buying a new pair of pants. Story 15. War, theft, school shootings, not being able to teleport places. Story 16. Canned food with pull tabs that break off in your hand. Story 17. Banking that still goes by business hours for transaction processing. Banks are 90% computers running automated tasks. There's no reason an ACH transaction needs to take 3 *** business *** days or a debit transaction taking days to clear and waiting for the next business day if it processed on a weekend holiday. Story 19. Government control of women's reproductive rights. Story 20. Computers being slow. We've gone way beyond the golden age for computer hardware, but developers continue to make the operating systems and software more bloated and resource-intensive. Imagine if Windows XP still worked today and were stable. It would run faster than anything. The fact is most technology has already peaked. Story 22. Idiots believing everything the media and the internet is selling. Story 23. Book bannings. Story 24. Mass shootings. Story 25. The lag when watching the news and they go now Jimmy is going to tell us more about the situation in X location and we see Jimmy awkwardly standing for like 2 seconds before he starts talking. Story 26. It's 2023 and I still can't believe it's not butter. Story 27. The war in Ukraine. Completely unjustified and it's a terrible tragedy from every angle. Story 28. Racists, FFS people, evolve. Story 29. Income taxes. I mean seriously, the IRS knows what I made, so just do the filing for me. Send me what I owe or what I'll receive as a return. If I think it's correct, I can accept it and it gets processed. And if I think it's wrong, or if I want to call out additional deductions above what they projected, then I can submit my own return. Truly, can we be done with this stupid annual shell game that can send you to prison if you do it wrong? Story 30. Forced genital cutting. Story 31. Christian nationalism. Story 32. Fucking fascists. My grandfather and great-uncle left their families, homes, and farms to go to Europe and shoot those bastards. Story 33. In the UK, poor and unreliable public transport, especially trains. On a wider scale, people not feeling safe to live free from war and persecution, and generally not being able to live freely and be themselves. Story 34. People who still believe Jenny McCarthy when she tells them that vaccines cause autism if you're a parent and you don't vaccinate your kids against measles, mumps, and rubella. You're not only putting your child at great risk but other kids as well. There is absolutely nitrogen monoxide findings that link the MMR vaccine with autism in kids. Story 35.5-day work week. It's time to move on from that BS. Story 36. Struggling to find good new music. Story 37. Mullet said it, sorry. This is one of my favorite bits to joke about lol. Story 38. Not being able to buy a house because you don't have enough saved. Not being able to save because market value rent is so much higher than market value wages. Story 39. Incurable STDs. Story 40. Can't get abortions, can't get Plan B, closed Planned Parenthood so no easy access to birth control. Idiots. Story 41. Women not being allowed to get safe and legal abortions. Story 42. People, mostly managers, that think cell phones aren't a normal part of life. I'm not leaving my phone in my locker. I'm not leaving it in my car. I'm not gonna check it if it goes off. And I'm damn sure not gonna refrain from using it for basic stuff like math. Besides that, not letting retail workers sit down. What the fuck do you think this is? Prison? There's no reason cashiers can't have a chair. Get off your high horse. Story 44. Nazis. Story 45. Still letting 65 to 80-year-olds run for office. Story 46. COVID-19. Story 47. People talking about COVID, going on 3+ years to stop the spread. Story 48. Lack of free healthcare. Story 49. Fax machines. Story 50. Long working hours. So much advancement in technology. For what? To make the rich richer. With the wealth of just one of those assholes. Just one. We could end a lot of social problems. In the whole world. Story 51. LGBT hate. Story 52. Rapid climate change. Story 53. 1,000 different charging cables for cell phones. I'm pretty sure our tech has come far enough to build a standard charging type for quick and easy powering. Story 54. Racism. Story 55. Getting someone that should be in jail actually in jail. Story 56. Mass shootings, especially school shootings. If the very thought of children being shot up several times a year isn't enough to make politicians act, I don't know what is. Story 57. People not understanding who irrelevant anecdotal evidence is. Story 58. Religion. Story 59. Racism. It's 2023, people. Get with it. Story 60. Spam calls. Story 61. Only 38 states have ratified the AITA, proposed first in 1923, that secures full equality for all Americans regardless of sex. Women's rights are still not protected in the U.S. Constitution. Story 62. Old white men in positions of political power and fighting for women's autonomy. I cannot recall which comedian said it, perhaps Eliza Schlesinger, but if men had periods, birth control would be free and come in flavors like Cool Ranch and barbecue, and abortion clinics would be as prevalent as Starbucks. Story 64. More cars than public transit. Story 65. Women not having bodily autonomy. Story 66. Those damn price tags, labels that leave sticky residue on your shit. Story 67. Racism. Story 68. War. Nobody wins. Ever. Story 69. I feel bad now because I see all this racism, Nazis, social justice issues, and I came here to say cords. Like, everything still needs to be plugged into the wall with a cord. But yeah, racism is stupid too. Story 70. Misandry. Story 71. Bad websites forms. You made one mistake. Start from the beginning. Story 72. Old white men in politics. Story 73. Banning of abortions. Also having to argue with doctors for sterilization. Story 74. People not knowing it's not okay to be horrible or even mean to someone for race, sexuality, gender, religion, or honestly anything at all. How hard is it to just look away if you don't like something that's a truly personal choice and isn't hurting anything or anyone? Story 75. That checking into a hotel still takes about 5 minutes of paperwork and passport and bullshit. And amp, hash by 2OB, it should not take more than 45 seconds per customer. Story 76. Anti-Semitism, fascism, nationalism. Really, I thought we covered this 80 years ago, but I guess we didn't actually learn anything from it. Story 77. Shoelaces. Why am I doing and redoing my footwear like a medieval peasant? Story 78. Religions. Story 79. Inequality. Story 80. Transphobia. Story 81. Formula shortage. It is an absolute outrage. Story 82. Homophobia, lack of human rights, racism. Story 83. Shit sticking to the toilet bowl FFS. Story 84. Sue culture. Walmart associates can no longer help you set up your phone because someone sued them once. Story 85. That women still have to fight over the right to own their body at all times. Story 86. How complex and how expensive and how long it takes to get a divorce. There's no way in this day and age with everything digitally captured and complex algorithms that we can't give some of this work to software. Lawyers get paid too much to move too slow. It's dangerous for people who are trying to get out of an abusive marriage. Divorce should be as easy as boot button on a government website and everything divides and some caseworker reviews children's needs only. Divorce takes too long. It's too expensive. It doesn't need to be. Story 88. Women being told they need to cover up for men. Story 89. Nazis. Story 90. TV commercials. Story 91. Half-eaten food pics on social media. Story 92. Loud vehicles. Come on people, it's 2023. We've had the technology to make cars quiet for years. The tolerance should be halved. Story 93. War. Story 94. Secondhand smoke. I can't believe how many are. Asterisk tards begin smoking every year. Story 95. The cartridges. Story 96. My health insurance company expecting me to fax claims forms. I suppose I should be glad it's not telex. Story 97. Racism, come on folks. Story 98. Matt Damon. He narrated the Inside Job documentary about the 2008 economic crash and then went on to become a shill for cryptocurrency like there was no tomorrow. I know it's niche, but hypocrisy as a means to make a living drives me crazy. Story 99. Flat Earthers. Story 100. A couple of things regarding women. Asterisk not so old people still believing women are baby factories that belong in the kitchen. Asterisk men still taking that alpha beta social hierarchy BS way to seriously asterisk deciding if abortions should be legal or not asterisk etc. Story 101. Homelessness. Story 102. Racism. Story 103. Politicians obsessed with other people's genitalia and what they do in the privacy of their own bedrooms. Also, the lack of bodily autonomy and affordable healthcare. Story 104. Trump and Putin. Story 105. Trump. Story 106. Donald Trump.